Dynamic follow-up is what we're going to cover in this presentation. So we're going to end up setting up an automation that follows up with customers based on their behavior. And the emphasis is on customers because we want to keep them engaged. So our goal with this automation is to keep your customers engaged automatically. And we're going to measure their behavior and react appropriately. So to accomplish that, we're going to follow up based on behavior, or in this case, their lack of behavior. If they don't visit our site that they paid for, and a good example is like a membership site. If they've paid for access to a membership site and they're not using it, there's a high chance that they're going to churn out or they're going to quit. That's not really what you want to have happen. And we're going to keep following up until we basically run out of messages. So in theory, this could go on forever. We don't want to send the same message over and over again. We want to send a different message each time we reach out to them. And this can occur at any time. Again, it goes back to being based on behavior. If they visit your site, if they consume your content, they're not going to get a message. However, this automation will always be running in the background, checking to see what they're doing. And if for instance, they don't consume or visit your site in a certain amount of time, then a message gets sent out. So here's what we need to do. And we're going to use ActiveCampaign to show you how this works. So you want to set up a number of tags for this automation. These automations, I should say, there's 3 automations here. One is called This Week. That's the last one listed here. And what that is used for is if somebody visits within the last week, they're going to get this tag. Now, I'm making the assumption that you want to follow up every 7 days. That would be my recommendation, especially on the start. What you might do is you might run this for a few months, 6 months, a year, and then when that's out, put them in a different automation that follows up on a different schedule, like monthly. So one tag called This Week or something like that using your tag naming structure. Then you want to have a tag for each email that you could send. In this case, I've set up 4 tags, in other words, 4 emails. So there's the visit email 1, visit email 2, 3, and 4. You can have an unlimited number of tags associated with that, so you better have those many emails. So those are the tags set up. The automations, there's going to be 3 of them. One's going to be with regards to visit. If somebody visits your site, you want to fire off an automation. The other one is an email automation, and this one gets kind of busy. It's complex, but really it's a repetition. It repeats itself over and over again. There may be a better way to do this, but this one will show you how to send out a different email each time an email needs to be sent. And the last one is the reminder automation. This is the one that's always running. It always checks, for instance, once a week. Has this person visited my site in the last 7 days? If not, go do something. So let's go into the visit email and then we'll review the next few ones. So a very, very simple email, or automation, excuse me. You want it to fire when somebody actually visits the page or pages that you're interested in. So in this case, if somebody visits integratepro.com/community/ and then there's an asterisk or a star is what it's referred to sometimes. And that basically means a wildcard. So if they visited any page in that subdirectory, we want this automation to start off. The next thing we do is we simply add a tag called This Week or Visit This Week. That's it. And then I like to throw in a wait for 5 minutes, I don't know, in case something goes south, and then in this automation. So on the surface, all it does is add a tag. And the reason we do that is because it will kick off another automation. Or actually in this case, it will have a contact reach a goal so that they don't get sent another email. So anytime somebody visits a particular page or pages, you want to tag them with a tag that says they visited that page or pages. So that's the visit automation. That's one of them. The next one is the email automation. And on the surface, it looks really, really busy. But really, it's the same thing, but different versions. So when you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, those are with regards to the 4 emails that we've talked about. So there's actually 5 different paths that somebody can go down. And I'm not going to zoom in, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it says, but I'll tell you what's happening. So somebody gets put into this automation, and the next one will show you how that happens. First thing we do is we check, has this person received email 1? And the way we know that is because they have a tag attached or not. So if they have not received email 1, they go over to the left, which is the yes column. We send out that email 1, that reminder email, that follow-up email, that something email that hopefully gets them engaged, sends them back to your site. And then as soon as we send that email, the next thing we do is we tag them with email 1. In other words, they've received email 1, we're going to tag it so we identify them as such. After that, the next thing is a go to somewhere else. So that orange little box on the far left basically shoots them over to the far right to the pink reddish thing, which is basically in this automation. So we're done. So very simply, you get put in there, we check, did you receive email 1? No, we haven't. Okay, then let's send you email 1, tag you as having received email 1 and in this automation. So they can come right back into this automation, and it's not going to be earlier than 7 days in this case. Again, we go through that same check. Did you receive email 1? In this case, because they have a tag that says email 1, they've already been there. So we go to the no condition. We do another check. Have you received email 2? Guess what? Email 2 hasn't been sent out to this person, so we do that. And then we tag them with email 2 tag. Jump over to the in this automation. So you can set this up for as many emails as you want. I've done this for 4 emails. So what if it just keeps no, 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 no? In other words, they've already received all 4 emails. Well, very simple. They get pushed through to the far right, and basically they get put in and they get put out. Nothing happens. Now, the beauty of this thing is you can continue to add emails even after you've already sent all 4. So if I add a 5th email in here, I just put it on the far right-hand side, move everything over, and then the next time somebody jumps through, because they haven't been tagged as having received email 5, they'll get that. And then they're back to no more emails. So it looks complicated. It's very simple. Did you or did you not receive this email? If you didn't send it, tag it as sent, and then just keep using that logic over and over again until you've sent all your emails. And then finally, the third automation, which is the one that runs in the background, is the reminder automation. And it basically sits there and loops on itself. And you want to put somebody in here as soon as they become a customer of yours. So as soon as they become a customer, they get dropped into this automation. The very first thing that happens is they get put into a wait state. Wait for 7 days, wait for 14 days, wait for 28 days, wait for 30 days. I've done 7 days here. So you put them there, and if they pass through there, they're going to then get put into the email automation that we just showed you. Now, well, how would they ever skip that? Because you do want them to skip that if they visited your site within the last 7 days. The next step down in the yellow is something called goal reporting. And what this is set up so that if they have the visit tag, then you jump down to that yellow step and skip over sending them into the email automation. So wait 7 days, or let's just say they've been there for 5 days and then they visit your site. Well, guess what? They're going to then jump down to that first yellow goal and skip over the 7th day reminder thing. So that's how you accomplish not sending an email out. But if they never visit the site, they're going to go into that automation and they're going to get an email. Even if they go and get an email, they're still going to keep moving through. If they don't meet the goal, it's set up such that they just simply pass through and they go to a wait state and they just wait for 5 minutes, just kind of a holding pattern. And then what do? We remove the visit this week tag so that that can be reused again to fire off the earlier automation. And then we've got a final check, which is this person no longer a customer? So that's the second goal step. So if they're in this automation and then they lose their customer status, we jump down to there, and then we do a check. Do they no longer have their customer tag? And if they don't, we, in this automation, take them out. Doesn't make sense to keep sending reminders that they're no longer a customer. However, if that never occurs and they're still a customer, we do a jump back up to the top. So we just keep looping them right back to the very top of this automation so that they keep going every 7 days. They get put into a wait state at the top, followed by, if they don't visit, they get the next email. And then if they did visit, they would have hit the goal that would have jumped them over that exit and entrance into that another automation. And then they keep circling back around. So this works nicely because it makes it easy for you to automatically update a customer if they haven't visited your site in a certain amount of time. So that's what a dynamic follow-up automation looks like.